Oh yes, you're welcome back to African Colonization TV. I'm your fan history. So let's dive into the thing that is going on in Nigeria, the insecurity and the problems surrounding Nigeria, and the people that came into Nigeria because of this issue of insecurity and a lot of things that is going on. So as it is now, EU arrived Nigeria as US warned Tinubu over insecurity and threatening to split the country if massacring of Christians did not stop in Nigeria. And you all see the speech made by Ambassador Sam Brownback, the U.S. ambassador. I'll say, yeah, former U.S. ambassador to Nigeria. So Sam Brownback, what he said to to the country or to Tinubu just last week concerning this issue of incessant killing and the incessant destruction of life and property in the country. And what he said that if care is not taken, if the government did not stop this issue of insecurity, they will push the US to split the country. And as it is now, the EU, the European Union, they have arrived Nigeria. They have arrived because of the same issue of insecurity and a lot of things that is going on in Nigeria. In this video, you are going to see it and you're going to watch everything the way it is. This our Biafran activist is going to explain to us a lot of things that is going on in Nigeria right now. Because as you can see, the recent massacre of the Plateau people, the Jos, so more than 51 people that were killed in one night, just on Palm Sunday, and a lot of things that is going on since then till now. So, in fact, everywhere is being shattered due to this issue of insecurity that is all over everywhere. And if you look at the government of Nigeria, it's like they are not doing enough to stop these menace. They are not. Since then till now, we have not seen the government of Nigeria for them to do the needful, for them to hold them. No anybody we have seen that they say that yes, these people is the people that cause this thing, and those people are the people that discussing it. Since then, they have been winding up their mouths, talking everything. So I would like to watch you guys about to watch, like, subscribe, and share it. Let others see the thing that is going on in the country.
There is a very popular saying in Igbo that says, what makes a he-goat to smell is in its body. Oh yes, you see, Nigeria is the way it is today simply because Nigerians want it to be that way. Oh yes, I can tell you that if Nigerians want to take back this country to probably be a better Nigeria, or to go back to 1940 and decide if they want to be or not, if Nigerians want to do it, they can do it. But because, there is hunger in the land, and so whoever steps up to talk, they will offer that person one bag of rice, and the person, will take one bag of rice and go and rest. Oh yes. Why am I saying all this? Are you aware that just 5 days ago, the European Union came to Nigeria? Yes, they were in Nigeria to sign a deal. If I tell you the content of this deal, you might go crazy. But come on, here we digest it and we discuss it. Please, I beg you to stay with me because this is a very serious issue. European Union came to Nigeria on the 25th day of March 2026. What are they here to do? I'll go straight to the reading before I play you the video. I'm just going to read just a very short part of it. Then I'll play you the video so that you will hear and see yourself. Now, according to this news, it says, we go straight into the news. It says, the initiative forms part of a broader multi-sector partnership covering agriculture, clean energy, digitalization, transport and trade, migration, health, and education. So these are the key areas that they signed the deal. Please stay with me. It's just very short news. Under the governance, peace and security component, the EU supports effort to stabilize northeastern states, including Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa, where insurgency has displaced millions since 2009. All right, we went further to say the EU emphasized that the effort was part of a broader peace building and stability measures in conflict affected areas. Other actions include supporting conflict resolution, strengthening relationships between farmers and herders, promoting peaceful borderlands, and improving access to justice for vulnerable groups. So these are the areas that they signed the deal. Please stay with me. The final part where the cocoa lies is this. It says, the report stated the EU collaborates with Nigeria to promote stability and security by supporting democratic governance, inclusive participation of young people, women, and people with disabilities, and fostering peace-building efforts. Okay? All right. Key actions include promoting conflict resolution and prevention, supporting peaceful and resilient borderlands, encouraging community-led initiatives for conflict prevention and stability, and supporting conflict mitigation and community peace initiative in northwest Nigeria. Okay. Finally, it says, this is the cocoa, others are strengthening relationships between farmers and herders in Adamawa and Taraba states, promoting the reintegration of former combatants, including Boko Haram associates in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa State. Please, I want you to pay very close attention to that. It says, promoting the reintegration of former combatants, including Boko Haram associates in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa State. Now, the European Union came to Nigeria to sign a deal which promotes reintegration of former combatants. Now they are calling terrorists, bandits, Boko Haram members, they are calling them former combatants. They want to reintegrate them into the army or into the society. In fact, for some of you that do not understand this, I have summed it up in one page. Just look at this are the things, the key areas that they sign. Now, it says, number one, as you can see, promoting conflict resolution and prevention. On this topic, look at the deals they signed. Number one, supporting peaceful and resilient borderlands. Number two, okay, encouraging community-led initiatives for conflict prevention and stability. Number three, supporting conflict mitigation and community peace initiatives in northwest Nigeria. Okay. Number four, I think, strengthening relationships between farmers and herders in Adamawa and Taraba states. Now, number five, it says, promoting the reintegration of former combatants, including Boko Haram associates in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states. Did you hear that? This is one of the deals they sign. Of course, the last one, they say, providing support for livelihoods and conflict resolution in the Niger Delta. So, few days ago, if you remember, the Nigerian Chief of Defense Staff came out on the internet to say that, come on, that when they catch terrorists, that they don't unalive them, they reintegrate them, because, you know, the Bible passage that talked about the prodigal son, so they reintegrate them probably into the army or into the society. And now we are seeing this. So it was actually a deal that was signed with the European Union. Some of us don't really understand what is happening in Nigeria. We don't understand. Just yesterday, I hope you saw what happened in Plateau State. Anyway, my major concern is that this man has talked about this. And when he was shouting it, so many people were there saying, oh, forget him. He is just a miscreant. He just wants to get popularity. He just wants to do this. And today, it is happening in our own very eye. It is happening before us. European Union came to Nigeria and signed a deal. One of the deals is on how to reintegrate Boko Haram members, terrorists, how to reintegrate them into the society. I ask again, how many of you saw what happened in Plateau State yesterday? The unalive Christians on Palm Sunday. And yet, we are talking about reintegrating those groups into the society or into the army. That is what European Union came to sign. And that was why I said earlier that if Nigerians really want to take back this country, they can do it. They can do it. If not that when they rise up now, if they see a warehouse that is full of rice, they will stop whatever they are doing. They can do it. If they want to make Nigeria a better place, they can do it. If they want to take it back and say, no, we are going back to 1940, we are going back to the drawing board, they can do it. But because 1 million naira, 2 million, 1 billion, they will forget whatever they are looking for. Look at what European Union came to sign for you. Well, I'm going to play just a very short clip because I don't want this video to be too long. I'm going to play a very short clip for you so you hear from them, of course, and also hear what people are saying. Then you do well to drop your comment in the comment section what to think. Do well to subscribe if this is your first time, right? Please listen to them.
In conclusion, Nigeria is happy to note that this dialogue has reinforced the values of mutual respect, shared responsibility, and forward-looking cooperation. Nigeria is determined to translate today's commitments into tangible outcomes that improve lives, strengthen democracy, and secure a sustainable future for generations to come. Finally, we appreciate Her Excellency Kaya Kallas, High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy and Vice President of the European Union, and the delegation for their presence, and wish them safe trip back home. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency. May I respectfully invite Her Excellency Ms. Kaya Kallas, High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy and Vice President of the European Commission, to present her statement.
Dear Minister, dear Yusuf, it's really my great pleasure to be here in Nigeria today. And this morning we co-chaired the EU Ministerial Dialogue. Nigeria is a key partner to the European Union, and strong potential is there also to deepen our cooperation even further. This may be my first visit to Nigeria, but I know the strength of your country, and this will not be the last. As Africa's most populous nation and economic engine, you are a political heavyweight and also regional anchor. Nigeria's stability is crucial for the entire region. EU-Nigeria cooperation has grown steadily in recent years, and we want this positive track to continue. So this morning we also spoke about key areas where we work closely together. First, on security, Nigeria faces dangerous rise in jihadist violence. Extremist groups like Boko Haram pose not only a threat to Nigeria, but also to the region. Nigeria is a bulwark in the fight against terrorism, and Europe stands shoulder to shoulder with Nigeria. Over the past decade, we have mobilized more than 700 million euros to support counterterrorism, stabilization, rule of law, and the multinational joint task force. But our cooperation is not only tactical, it's also strategic. Earlier this year, we launched the first EU-Nigeria Peace, Security and Defense Dialogue, and this is how we turn our partnership into action, by defining the priorities and strengthening cooperation. Nigeria is also a major partner on trade, investment, and green and digital transitions. The EU is Nigeria's main trading and investment partner. More than a quarter of Nigeria's trade is with the European Union. Over 200 European companies are operating here and creating 130,000 jobs. The EU's Global Gateway program is well on track and with Nigeria and in Nigeria. And today we move forward with new projects in digital, agriculture, health, worth 66 million euros of grants and 221 million euros in low-interest loans. The EU-Nigeria Business Forum, which we will organize in Lagos in June, will boost the investments and partnerships between our companies and private sector organizations. We also look forward to negotiating with Nigeria Science, Technology and Innovation Agreement under the Horizon Europe program. And all this is a win for Nigeria, but it's also a win for the European Union. And third, on migration. We have made real progress on the EU-Nigeria readmission agreement to ensure safe and dignified returns of those Nigerians who can no longer stay in European Union. So I thank you, Yusuf, for your leadership really in these negotiations and also initializing the agreement today. This is part of broader cooperation on migration. It shows that even on sensitive issues, trust delivers results. And finally, we discussed the broader regional outlook. West Africa faces serious challenges from unconstitutional changes of power, terrorist threats in the Sahel spilling over to neighboring countries, to humanitarian crises in parts of the region. In this turbulent situation, the defense of the rules-based international order matters more than ever. And that is why the EU remains firmly committed to its partnership with ECOWAS. We strongly support ECOWAS as a framework for regional stability, as the future of standby force illustrates. And you can count on our long-term commitment. Dear Minister, the EU is a reliable and predictable partner for Nigeria. We believe in this partnership, and I hope today's discussions also kick off an ambitious upgrade of the EU-Nigeria partnership. So thank you again for hosting us and welcoming us so warmly. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. At this juncture, there will be questions from the men of the press. Please kindly state your name and the organization you represent. And let your question be precise, please. Very few questions, please.
My name is Nduka Ojinmo. I work for Bloomberg News. My question is to you. I wanted to get your reaction on Donald Trump's seemingly backing down on Iran. That's just happened in the last couple of hours. And I'm also curious to know if there are any critical minerals deals you've signed with Nigeria during this visit. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for this question. I think the recent statement that there will be no attacks on energy infrastructure is a very welcome development. I think any attacks on infrastructure, are causing chaos in the region and really escalating this war even further. What comes to critical raw materials, we were discussing this today. I think there is definitely room for cooperation. We haven't yet signed a memorandum of understanding, but we definitely have an interest and we are working to find a common solution.
This brings us to the end of this joint briefing. There will be move photograph immediately after this briefing, please. One more question. Your finger.
Once again, good afternoon, Your Excellency. Once again, good afternoon, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, we would like to know a bit more about the facility that you just mentioned, that the EU will support Nigeria in hydrocarbon by emission, to tackle emission. So is there any timeline for this project?
No, I think you got what I said wrong. I was talking about diversifying from hydrocarbons, increasing our energy mix, so that so we're talking about green energy. We're talking about even things that would certainly in the future prove to be much more efficient and efficacious. So green hydrogen, for instance, we're already working with Germany, as you're aware, on creating a framework, on creating a strategy for Nigeria on green hydrogen. So these are the sort of things, and there is a lot that is going on in the area of photovoltaics, so solar, wind, The EU is already working with Nigeria on studies, on technical support, so that we're able to identify new areas where wind energy is possible. Because at the moment, I think it's just Katsina where Nigeria has experimented with that. So that's what I'm thinking.
Social media commentators yesterday highlighted an observation that the deal includes a clause to support the reintegration of repentant terrorists. Now, the information contained under initiatives on the European Commission website under aid, development, cooperation and fundamental rights states that under governance, peace and security, the EU collaborates with Nigeria to promote stability and security by supporting democratic governance, inclusive participation of young people, women, and people with disabilities, and fostering peace-building efforts. Key actions include promoting the reintegration of former combatants, including Boko Haram associates in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states. Now, whilst this item sits amongst other clauses that relate to clean energy, migration, health, and education, it is the clause that has generated conversation. So let's quickly look at the breakdown of this 288 million euro grant deal that was sealed last week. So out of the 288 million package, let's just look at the breakdown. We have an image of that. 50 million will support healthcare, manufacturing, a number of things. You can see them on the screen there. But 16 million has been said to be targeted towards strengthening migration, governance, and reintegration. So from that 288 million package, we're looking at 16 million going towards migration, governance, and reintegration of the so-called repentant combatants or Boko Haram associates. All right. Now, this document is, of course, from information retrieved from the Nigeria Agency of News. Let's look at reactions on social media before Dr. Abati gives us his input. Langre said this document is 2021. At that time, there was a program called Operation Safe Corridor, and they were supporting. Now, just for context, the framework between the working relationship between EU and Nigeria is 2021 to 2027. So that tweet is correct, but doesn't reflect the fact that it's a period. Now let's go to the next tweet from Express, who said, before everyone jumps to conclusions, this isn't the EU saying let terrorists walk free. What they're referring to is a standard counter-insurgency approach called reintegration. It applies to people who surrender, are captured or defect, and then go through screening, de-radicalization, and monitoring before being reintroduced into society. Nigeria is already doing this with Boko Haram defectors. The EU is just supporting that framework, not inventing something new. That said, people are right to feel uneasy about it. You can't talk about reintegration without also talking about justice for victims, accountability, and the very real fear communities have about letting former fighters back in. So yes, question is, but let's at least understand what's actually being proposed instead of reducing it to, and I quote, they are bringing terrorists back. And the final tweet from Ade, the plan is to keep us in perpetual disarray so Africa may never rise above its current status. Dr. Abati, several issues emerging here, but the fundamentals being Nigeria's engagement with the rest of the world and how it's impacting the common man.
Okay, yeah, let's start with the European Union. Now, after a fashion, you have development assistance being provided by many countries of the world, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa, not just Nigeria, be it Japan or China or Germany, but this one is EU, it covers Germany. The US, until Trump came second term and decided to reduce, some of those funding engagements and say, no, we'll rather focus more on trade rather than aid. Now, the issue here is that, those packages like this one, which is 2021 to 2027, they will have the items. But also, these grant giving countries, they also relate with the government in place, in power. And that's why I find the second tweet, ex-logistics or so, they called him, I find it more reasonable to say that, look, This does not mean they are going to say bring the terrorists back. You have an administration in place that is not talking about, bringing terrorists back and giving them community attires as we had under the Buhari administration. You have a government that is talking about justice, about ensuring justice, particularly for the victims, ensuring justice also for the perpetrators. And we've seen a few instances where arrested, apprehended kidnappers and bandits and terrorists have been taken to court to a degree that we did not witness under the previous administration. However, we should just know that this thing called integration is even sanctioned, approved by the UN. They call it a de-radicalization, reintegration, and then rehabilitation. But it's a matter of state policy for any particular state to adopt this. However, the popular opinion in Nigeria is that Nigerians want those bandits, terrorists, as criminals. I think it was even under this administration that a definition was offered that these persons are criminals and they should be apprehended and brought to book. Look at the amount of distress, chaos, disruption that they cause in society. So if people take your children, as they did in Niger State, or they attack churches as they have done in Ondo State and in other places like Plateau, then you bring them back, you put them in Ashebi, as they call it, and you say, oh, these are persons that are worthy of reintegration. Experience has shown that these persons, are criminals and they do not deserve any kind of, soft treatment. After all, there was even one state under the Buhari administration that arranged husbands for the women that were involved in banditry and arranged wives for. So where did that lead Nigeria? So it's for each country to design what will work for.
Oh yes. You all have seen everything that is going on. The EU arrival and their deal with the government, what they plan to do, and what they are thinking to do in the country. Mostly the issue, the side of reintegration of those bandit, terrorists, kidnappers, those that is destroying life and property every day in the country. That place, that side is a very, very critical area where people need to look into what type of a deal is that and what type of a country is that. All of them have been seeing what is going on in the country, and people have been suffering. Villages have been destroyed, life have been lost. A lot of people have been in IDP camp, and they are not even talking about that. Is it IDP camp people will be forever? But what they are discussing about is how they are going to reintegrate those terrorists that has been killing people every day back to the society. Is it not madness? So sometimes once you look around, you see this issue of international body or EU, cooperation or no cooperation, is like they are the sponsor and they are the hand moving of all those things that is happening in the country. That is why sometimes once you see it look as if the thing that the security men, what they are doing is not moving, because within them they are still the sponsor and they are still the patron of the movement that is moving all those things, that is making all those things to be worse. Imagine EU, what they're based on is how they are going to reintegrate back these evil people into the society. It is somehow. In fact, Nigeria, sometimes people would think that Nigeria will work. Well, let's see. You can pray from now till thy kingdom come. If you don't work, like our brother have said it's only revolution that will make this to come an end. If people did not rise to defend and to speak up and to say the right thing and to do the right thing, I don't see any place where this country will move. People need to speak up and people need to rise and people need to say yes and no for some certain reasons, because the issue of what Nigeria is facing today, it is not issue of just because the government, they are benefiting from it. The cry of the masses, they are benefiting from it, and the suffering of the people, they are benefiting from it. And everybody saw how the UK, the Prime Minister, and then King Charles, the British king, when he invited Tinubu to his country. Do you see them talk anything concerning this issue of terrorists, this issue of bandits, and the issue of things that is happening in this country? You do not see them talk a lot about it. What they are talking about is about business, cooperation of business, economy, and the economy is how they are going to benefit their own side, not how they are going to benefit the citizen of the country where they are picking the resources from. Then for you to see how the country is. In fact, a lot is happening and a lot will keep on happening unless the people rise up to do the needful or rather rise up to speak up. When Mazam Kano was talking against this, all those things, some people they fight against him, they start talking and they start doing a lot. Finally, the government of Nigeria went to Kenya, far away Kenya, to kidnap him back to Nigeria and do every means to sentence him. Somebody that did not kill, somebody that did not commit anything. He's just trying to save his people out of this issue of bandits. He's trying to save his people. But at the end, the government sentence him. And what they are even planning to do is to kill him. But the people are discussing these terrorists every day, killing people every day, destroying life, chasing away people from their villages, and the burning, in fact, destroying many things. But at the end, the government is preparing a wife for them, giving them scholarship, and they putting them back to society, taking some of them who want to become a soldier into the soldier and into the police. At the end, they will start doing evil, which they have been doing. At the end, you will tell me that Nigeria will move, or we should pray for Nigeria to work. How come? Well, I would like to hear your comment down below. Like, subscribe, and make sure you share it. Let others see what is going on in Nigeria. We say thank you for watching.